steaks. Your choice of either a 4 or 8 count, which I'll take you through, but really this is an easy, delicious, and versatile everyday steak, right? Maybe every day you're not cooking up a filet mignon, maybe you're not making a ribeye, but the flank steak is a good one. Whether you're using it for fajitas, whether you're using it for steak salad, maybe it is that center of plate. So here's what you get to choose from. You're going to have either 4 of these 6-ounce flat iron steaks, and that would be just around $52. Now, if you go for the 8 count, double it up, you're not doubling up the price. You're not going to pay $103.90. You'll actually save money and only spend $79.95 for the 8 count. So stock up and save, free shipping and handling, and I'll tell you about the auto delivery plan a little bit later. You can keep them coming because if you fall in love with these, I want you to lock in that price and the easy pay. So a flank steak, I had to talk to our friend Ralph at Kansas City Steak because I needed him to give me a little flank steak 101. He explained to me that the flank steak is actually one of the most tender steaks, second only to the filet mignon. So this is a very tender steak, but it still has that bold steak flavor, and that's because of the quality of steak that Kansas City Steak uses. You know that they really source their beef from cattle ranchers in the Midwest, so they're very choosy about what they are bringing to you. They age it for at least 28 days, and the aging process helps to tenderize the meat, and it also helps to bring out the flavor. So the aging process enhances that flavor. So you can see I just cut through that very easily. And then juicy, flavorful, and as I mentioned, these are tender. So if you're thinking, oh, flank steak, that's a lesser cut of meat, it is usually more affordable than some of your other cuts of meat, but it doesn't make it any less desirable. This is a good one to have on hand. I'm just slicing through this, whether you want to use this. We had Taco Tuesday last week, so we had some fajitas. My kids wanted some burritos. There you can see that juiciness. And when you think about how do I prepare flank steak, just like you would any other steak, you can put this on the grill. If you want to, you can pan fry this. You can put it in the oven on broil. However you like to prepare your steak, and they include the seasoning mix. So you can add that extra flavor. Our friends at Kansas City Steak, they recommend go ahead and give it a little sprinkle of the seasoning mix that they include for you after you've thawed it out in the refrigerator, but before you cook it. So Mary Beth, I see you standing by with some flank steak. I was surprised to learn that this is really one of the most tender steak cuts out there.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to the cattle ranchers in the Midwest, you're going to hear it over and over again. I'm a Midwest girl. So I know my meats. But I will tell you this, these flat iron steaks, a lot of times you will find that there will be certain recipes in your cookbooks and things like that that will say, you know, take your flat iron steak and do this and that. But I too, I mean, even when I'm just pushing on it, you can see how tender and juicy that flat iron steak is. So when you take a look at this, and I'm going to turn that one around and you'll get to see both of these here. Notice how it's nice and thick, right, especially in the center, gets a little less thick towards the ends. But a lot of times, understand that meat is really named for what part of the beef it comes from. And you can see right here, they've trimmed it beautifully. There's hardly any extra fat on it, but there's marbling in it as well. So it's tender, it's juicy. And I like what you said, Gabrielle, about the everyday steak, because a flat iron steak is one that you can bring out basically at any time, because these are individually packaged.
Yes.
So if all of a sudden, you know, you get home from work or you're going to get ready to go somewhere in the daytime and you say, honey, should we have steak tonight? Or, you know, let's get out a couple of these and we'll thaw them out and then we'll just grill them. This is grilling season.
Yep,
I mean,
it's
I
official.
can walk in my neighborhood and smell somebody grilling and I want to determine who it is. So I can call them and tell them they're making
Put one
me
on,
jealous.
right, put one on the grill for me too, please. All right, let me give you a couple updates already. We're down to the last few hundred in both the 4 and the 8 count. Now remember, you're saving money when you stock up on the 8 count. You save almost $24 by doubling up. And auto delivery is available. Now with auto delivery, that 8 count is very popular and getting limited, and it'll ship to you every 90 days for up to a year, and it's free shipping with every single shipment. Here's how it arrives. As Mary Beth mentioned, they're individually vacuum packed. So what they do is they trim these, they're perfectly proportioned, and it's 6 ounces, which means they do cook quickly. when you're in a hurry or you haven't planned ahead, that's so nice. And they do cook uniformly, and you can see all that marbling in there. That's how it will arrive. So just thaw it out overnight in the refrigerator, and then you throw it on the stovetop. You put it in the oven. You let it broil. But now's the time to pick this up so that you can have it at the ready when you are having that craving for steak for dinner one night. Mary Beth, my mother, she actually had steak dinner last night. Dad took her out and they got pickup steak dinner. I'm like, I wish I had thought of that. But you know what? If you can't pick up, have it right in your freezer.
That's the thing. I've been buying a lot of food from QVC because, first of all, I don't want to go out to the grocery stores. No. And half the time when I go, or I send Mark is what I do. I just send Mark. But anyway, he comes back and he's like, they don't let you take hardly any meat. You get one package of meat. Well, guess what? There are 4 of us living in our house, you know? So it's nice to have this already in your freezer ready to go. I like my steak medium rare. So what I say is I like to pan fry them. I just get that pan good and hot on the stovetop, throw in a pat of butter, and put the steak in, and think about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Done and ready to eat. That's the beauty of these flat iron steaks.
Really a great value. This has been popular in the 8 count on that auto delivery. Every 90 days, free shipping and handling. M64704, and this is just back in stock for the first time this year, and we are in May, almost at the halfway point. So easy, delicious, great little everyday steak for you. And it's the only Kansas City steak item in the show. All right, so we still have some brand new items in the show, some new brands to introduce you to. And since we talked